Welcome, welcome to Wednesday edition of Driving with Styles. Hopefully, everybody having a pretty good day today. I know I have. Uh, Spending this extra time with the family is definitely a welcome change for me. Uh, Staying home more, cooking more, grilling more, making some good food. So I'm enjoying this time away from the hecticness of traveling every week, spending time away from my family. So let's get into this thing. Got 30 minutes. Let's try to hit it as fast as possible, I guess. So first thing I want to talk about, and I know I touched on it on Monday. The Last Dance is a welcome distraction. Um, great show, done well. I enjoy all aspects of it. Uh, and there's obviously, if you watch my past shows, I've had some issues with some aspects, not aspects of the shows, but just things that have happened in the show. Um, Before I continue, let me give out the number if you want to call in. Uh, the number is 415 762 9988. 415 762 9988. You can join now. I'm ready for you. Meeting ID number 647 696 9337. Anyone's welcome. Call in now and have a question or you just want to say something. Just give me a call. But first thing I want to touch on is the Last Dance is this leadership deal. I've heard a lot of talk after this last episode of Last Dance about Jordan and his leadership tactics, and I don't have any problem with the way he leads at all. I mean, if that gets the job done for him, that gets the job done. My problem is when I hear people say that people not following him, and if you don't want to be successful, that's really the only way to be successful is to demean guys, do the things to me that Jordan did. I mean, it worked, no doubt about it. It worked for him, and it's easy to look back on it now and say that was the way to accomplish this. For me, I'm not so sure that is the way that I would have wanted to accomplish it. And there are numerous ways to lead. Everybody leads differently. Some people lead the way Jordan led. Kobe was probably one of them. Uh, I led a different way. LeBron leads a different way. I'm sure Larry Bird led a different way. I'm sure Magic Johnson led a different way. Does that make the way that they led any less successful? Because they didn't, quote unquote, win six? I mean, Magic won five. Russell won what, 11? So, are you saying that because they didn't win as well, Russell won 11. So his style actually worked for him, right? So what's the to me what's the what is the hang up? Um I'm I'm just upset with the this one size fit all way of doing something, which is definitely not just a one size fit all. Um, I personally couldn't take Jordan being on me like he was on Scotty Burrell. We would have had a fight. Period, point blank. I'm a man. I'm not a child. I made it to this level, not as good as you, obviously, but I've made it to this level too. And I think there's an amount of respect that needs to be given to all players. And I'm not going to sit there and take that. Um, but obviously, those guys did, and they was very successful with doing it that way. Um, I just couldn't have done it. That's just me. But we're all different. Everybody takes different leadership styles, different than other guys. Those guys knew that without Michael, probably they had no chance. Um, does that say LeBron isn't doing a good job of leading the way he leads? The proof is in the pudding. Now he hasn't won 6, but he's been in what 8, 9 straight finals. I'm sure Magic didn't lead that way. I'm sure Steph doesn't lead that way. So I just don't like to see this one size fit all, especially with this episode lately. This last episode with trying to me come across that way. Hold on, I've got a caller. Let me take this call. A 502 area code. Hello? Hello? Well, it looks like I lost him. But so to me, uh, I know this is a current deal, and we are subject to discuss about this. But man, there are many different ways of leading, and I just want to make sure that these kids now are just not looking at that and trying to replicate the way Jordan led, because you lead with your character. You don't try to be somebody else, and trying to be somebody else can lead to problems. So I just hope that this doesn't bring in a new some of these kids trying to do things that's outside their character. It's like, to me, how Bill Belichick, uh, his former coaches, going to other programs trying to do what Bill does. Bill is himself. You cannot replicate Bill. So just be yourself, lead the best you can, and lead something that's natural to yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. I just want to make sure that that's something that I hope kids are taken away from it, because I I just have a problem with this people not um, appreciating different kind of leadership styles, and just because Jordan won 6, that doesn't make his leadership style the best or the worst. It's just a way that worked for him because it was authentic to himself. And your teammates will know when it's not authentic. I promise you that. They will definitely pick up on that if it's not real. Um, so I just want to lead off with that. Next thing I want to lead off with is this NBA and the start of the NBA. Got in a Twitter conversation with a couple of my boys this morning about it, and I understand why the NBA wants to come back. I do understand. I understand why the players want to. It's more than what meets the eye. But my problem is, and I need to get off of this this topic, because it's like I'm talking this, just repeat myself. Is if they start the NBA season, they're gonna have to quarantine themselves. But quarantine themselves wouldn't be a problem if it was just the players and pick up basketball, calling their own calls, keeping their own score, etc., etc. It wouldn't be an issue if that was how we was going to run this thing. The problem is that's not how this thing is going to be ran. Okay, and let's go. Let's go not even with the with just the game time staff. Let's go with the staff, the bus drivers, to get them to and from practice, games, etc. Let's think about whatever lodging accommodation that they have. You're going to have some type of cleaning crew. You're gonna have some type of cook chefs. There's a lot of people that's gonna be affected by this, whom are gonna have to be away from their families for 2 to 3 months. Is that right? I'm not sure there's a right or wrong answer to that, but it affects more than just the players. It affects a bigger group than I think the majority of people give credit to. These guys have to eat. These guys have to get to and from the stadium, and whoever gets in contact with these guys, they have to be quarantined too. So now, how many people are you going to quarantine? I mean, are you going to have some staff at the arena that they play at? All of those people are going to have to be quarantined. They can't go back home. They're going to have to go to the same spot that the players are. So now that means you have a X amount of people that are not able to go home. Now, the grand scheme of things, is that bad? I don't know. It depends on how you feel about it. I know it'll be tough for me if I was a bus driver and I had to drive the bus for 3 months and not be able to go home, which is my normal routine. So to me, I am not against sports coming back. And if the players want to, I'll just say this: if the players want to come back, the players want to come back, and they have their reasons of coming back. There's some money involved. There's a lot of things that would lead to players want to come back. Professional players want to come back. I have no problem with it. But let's just make sure it's safe for everybody, because it's not just the players that will be affected by this and have the potential of being infected. I just don't see, to me, the rush of getting back, and I've said this more than once. Hopefully this will be my last time discussing this probably. I just want it to be as safe as possible. And for people, that's too many people whom I'm hearing saying that this is not real, it's not that deadly, and 80,000 lives is 80,000 lives, man. And if we didn't quarantine earlier, if we didn't quarantine when we did, it could have been a lot more gravely than what it is. So I just hope that it's done safely and everybody comes out on the other side well, because we had this MMA fight this weekend and one of the guys tested positive. He didn't know he was asymptomatic. Then someone in his corner was tested positive. So those guys are going around society and they didn't know they were even carrying the virus. I mean, all it takes is one guy. One guy can affect both teams, which then it's a snowball effect. Let's get to something positive. So I was scrolling through ESPN this morning and I saw Maurice Clarett, and it really piqued my interest, or as so to speak, my rabbit ears went up, and it brings me to something that I wholeheartedly believe in, is that you are put in situations for a reason. You don't know why you have to go through things, but it's for a reason. And I think Maurice Clarett, going through what he went through, I think he was a perfect candidate to go through that, because not many people can come out on the other side like he's come out on. I'm sure he envisioned himself when he was 10 years old, 11 years old, being a NFL All-Pro back. But what he's doing now is his calling. This is what he was, to me, destined to be. And reading the story, seeing him open up this Red Zone Foundation and helping other people with mental illness, addictions, giving them shelter, giving them resources, but more importantly, giving himself. And for someone who has probably gone through the things that the people who are in his care, so to speak, or in his foundation, when they look at him talking, they believe what he says because he's been there. And for them, if he wouldn't have been there, he could have went to the Super Bowl and been a Super Bowl champion. He would have been an NCAA champion, had rings and adulations. But the payback to me, the ultimate reward is what he's doing now, helping other people in his community, helping other people that's been through the things that he's been through is so much more important. So much more. He's doing something that's changing lives. I understand that maybe it's not the path that he thought, but the lives that he's changed, the impact that he's had. They had a story about him talking to Mike Tyson saying how his story helped him. I mean, come on. You're talking to one of the greats, and he's saying that you were a reason why he was able to defeat his demons. And how much bigger can you get than that? So to me, he went through the things he went through for a reason. And we all go through stuff. We all have our pity parties. I know I do. I'm sure we all do. And we have to understand, take a step back and realize that it's for a reason. Just keep fighting. And I'm proud of the kid. I don't know him, never met him, but I followed him, and for him to go through the things he's going through and to come out on this side of it, a better man, a man that's changing lives for real, not just by winning games, but actually affecting people on the ground, giving his story to high school athletes, college athletes, giving them something to hold on to say, okay, if I'm going through something, if he can get through what he went through, I can probably get through what I'm going through. Just keep the faith and keep marching forward. It's amazing what he's turned out to be, and not being affiliated with him, man. My proud meter is up there pretty high because I love stories like that, and I think it's going to help some high school kids who are having mental issues or breakdowns or whatever. Maybe they can reach out to somebody, because that's something that I wish that more kids had something to help them through some of these tough times that they're going through. So man, if you go to ESPN, click on that Maurice Clarett story. It's a nice read. Good story, a human story. So awesome, man. Last thing I'm gonna talk about is my man Cam. I don't get it. To me, why is this man don't have a job? Now, Joe Flacco was at Baltimore. He had an injury problem, right? But Denver signed him to a big contract. That's not the first time. That's not the last time a team signed a former starter, great quarterback, so to speak, but Flacco can't touch Cam. Now, the only difference Flacco did was Flacco won a Super Bowl, but it's a team sport. But for Cam to still be unemployed, still a free agent, baffles me. And I don't understand why Jacksonville didn't pick him up. I understand why other teams, they have young quarterbacks. They don't want to affect the confidence of the young quarterback. But my Bears, not my Bears, but the team I was drafted by, still have a they still have a little piece of my heart, I guess, is they picked up Nick Foles. I'm not sure if Nick Foles is a better option than Cam. I had this argument with one of my boys a week or so ago. Nick Foles has a pretty good starting quarterback record. But what is his record when he started off the season as a starting quarterback? And if you've seen in my past broadcast, as a defensive coordinator, it's harder to game plan against a quarterback that you didn't think was going to be the starter from day one. You have to go back to the drawing boards if they use that quarterback different. Even if they are very similar, different quarterbacks have different tendencies, they like certain plays better than others. And now you have game plan before the season of facing X quarterback. And now you got to scramble, pick up some film. Hopefully you're not the first, second, or third game the guys play, and the play call is different. It's just a whole gamut of things that can affect a game plan for a new quarterback. Cam is a past MVP of the league. He's had an injury problem, but Foles was injured last year too. But you picked him up. It's baffling to me why a star in the league is having trouble finding a team. I think there's more to the story than just his injury. I think I'm sure some people don't like the way he dressed. I'm sure some people still don't like the way he handled that Super Bowl interview after the game. But it's amazing how he gets abused for that more than others. I think the guy still has some good life in him. I think he can make a difference in a team. Now, I liked him with San Diego. Well, not San Diego, they're the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, but when they picked up Herbert, it was over. I still like him with Jacksonville, but they picked up a backup quarterback that is not on the level of Cam. And I like Minshew, but that shows me Jacksonville is trying to tank, and they're trying to regroup and rebuild. And that's unfortunate because I think they have a quarterback right down the road that could help them. It just hurts me to see a talented quarterback not being picked up. And to me, if you're going to say that the issue is his injury, there have been other quarterbacks who have been picked up during this time too, who have been injured or have been injured in the past. And I'm sure you can bring Cam in and have your doctor check him out one-on-one and get an evaluation on him. It's puzzling why that guy isn't on the team. We'll see. I guess he's gonna have to be a backup this year because I don't see any real good starting positions opening now. So either he's gonna have to sign as a backup, or he's just gonna wait until a situation opens up that fits his skill set, I guess. And that's the worst thing, is to have to sit back and wait for basically for someone to get hurt or for someone to not perform well. But that's the business side of the league, and I guess that's what's gonna have to happen for Cam to be able to find a destination spot.